This is an Evangelion, aka Evas. And they are these really cool sentient mecha machines from Hideaki Anmo's iconic series, Neon Genesis Evangelion. A series which revolves around the adventures of Shinji Ikari, a teenage boy who is recruited by a mysterious organization NERV to pilot these Evas into combat against angels. Neon Genesis Evangelion is a very complex series filled with multiple endings and timelines, a bunch of symbolism, and a ton of mental anguish, but who cares about that? I just want to run an Eva somehow. How my adorable mascot Timmy the Taco? Well, that seems weirdly convenient. Aha! You can't get me that easily, games. I'm gonna enjoy whatever game is thrown at me. Let's freaking do this. The first game is Neon Genesis Evangelion on the Sega Saturn by Sega's AM Research and Development No. 2. And honestly speaking, it is pretty much just a typical RPG game with some really cool elements. This game is a mixture of watching pre-recorded animations and making choices on whatever you want to choose, as well as battling segments in which, see the slot machine here? If you happen to be the lucky one to get chosen, you get the attack first. In a nutshell, it's like... Speaking of the gameplay is pretty, It's pretty much a typical RPG game in which you have guns, knives, and a motherfucking fist in order to attack, as well as defense options like defending and counterattacking when it's not your turn. If you're familiar with how F&B games work, aka video games that use video recording instead of sprites or 3D models for the gameplay, it's pretty much a solid typical example of that. That type of gameplay style does come with weaknesses though, like feeling you have no control of the game whatsoever despite choosing the attacks. Heck, to add insult to injury, the only time you can actually quote-unquote control the character is moving them after each turn, which... Honestly though, you're most likely to play this game for the game's story and custom cutscenes made for this game anyway. To which if you know anything about the story of Neon Genesis Evangelion, the story in this game is yet another timeline that tells a slightly different version of the story of Neon Genesis Evangelion, but this time you're facing against this motherfucking game-exclusive angel that I can't tell even looks really cool, or some weird hybrid of a tree, robot, and elephant, tree bot plant thingy, yeah. Something tells me these game-exclusive stories are only gonna get more awesome from here. Thankfully, for now, there's actually a sequel to this game, Neon Genesis Evangelion Second Impression by the same developers on the same console that pretty much do a similar song to dance in the last game, but with in-game cutscenes and battling instead of pre-recorded animations. Wait, really? Let's check it out! Mega-40 chest and no human poop process aside, the animations are pretty awkward and way too dramatic, but it's kinda wholesome and charming in a way. Oop, I got flicked, boppy doopy doo. Oh no, I'm about to get hit. Aww. And you won't need to pay me to tell you that the gameplay got a massive overall design. It's still the typical RPG system like the last game, but not only did they remove the use of slot machine and movement segments, but the combat is similar to performing. My goodness, they went all out with the weapons in this game. We're talking spears, axe, swords, and let's not forget the motherfucking bazooka. That's right, folks. It's motherfucking bazooka time. Let's pretend that never happened. What? No. I refuse, you Dini. Next game. And this game is Neon Genesis Evangelion, digital card library on the Sega Saturn by the same developers. And it's a bit of a weird one, as the game is filled with a variety of collectibles such as images and cutscenes of our dearly beloved characters. But there are a variety of minigames as well. There's just one minigame in which you must match the glare of Gendo's, aka Shinji's father's, glasses. A minigame in which you need to shoot a fake Ebo by pressing buttons, and... motherfucking penguin bowling. Okay, it's not bowling per se, but rather you have to tilt the direction pad to make pen either go slow or fast depending on the object you need to get is. With broken tiles and slippery floors stopping you and speeding you up. Get the object and congratulations! You get to watch this host and penguin dance. I mean, look at this. Isn't this adorable? Yeah! Wow! But would in this game, Neon Genesis Evangelion, Girlfriend Still by the Sega Saturn by a game task be adorable as well? Based on the last couple of days and the name of this game, I'm expecting some lovey-dovey action with a cool twist. Come on, see your lovely main character Shinji here? I'm sure he won't do anything too rad.
おはようございます。あんたちょっと来なさい。美里さん。
The reason for this here monstrosity is because in this timeline, there's this new girl named Mana that appears out of nowhere, saying she's here to meet them, stalks him into NERV, the top secret organization where Shinji works, hugs him to get into NERV with him, and follows him into the change room and proceeds to make fun of his brief despite saying not to look. And Daddy mentioned this happens on the first day of meeting her? So it's a typical dating sim. Yeah, nothing much to be said here. It's a typical visual novel dating sim that centers around our new mysterious character and whether she's aspire or not. A choice between two love interests and multiple endings. While this game doesn't have an official English translation or fan translated ROM like most of these games, there was a special remastered edition of this game that was made on a PSP and PC that has been fan translated by S. Pierce, which is the version I played. And there's actually an English translated ROM in the works of the original version of the game you can actually play by Mugi coming out soon. If you'd like to see the progress of this ROM translation, from upgrading the graphics to the overall translation of the game, I linked a couple of art codes as well as the user who did all this amazing work. And speaking of Mugi, they actually did a translation to the sequel of this game, Neon Genesis Evangelion, Girlfriend is Still Second on PSP as well. And well, if you like the first game, it's pretty much more of that. Just like with the last game, this dating sim is set in an alternate screw timeline, but instead of there being exclusive characters, you get a choice between the two main girls of the series, Asuka and Rei, as well as Kouryaku, who...
友情という名のバラが咲き
カオルくんこうして出会えるなんて
The game really wants you to be with. But why have one when you can have all? That's the way the ladies, man. Anyway, for now, I need to focus on getting my PE clothes I accidentally left in the classroom. Oh, silly me.
Ikari Shinji はただのチルドレンに格下げされた。
What?
着替え中の教室には鍵をつけるように今度のホームルームで提案しよう
La la la, going to the ladies' room. What? What? It was an accident game. It was an accident game. I didn't accidentally change into a room full of schoolgirls changed into a car Shinji to be satisfied to the dasher. That mustache should be the reason why Shinji should have been cast aside. Okay, calm down, Eric. You can still achieve your ladies' man fantasy. Oh, there's Shinji's father, Gendo. We don't exactly get around well. And he may or may not be the reason why Shinji is like... But maybe, just maybe, we can bond together over romantic woes.
父さん今まで悪い子でこれからは明るく元気な碇シンジになるよ
すまなかったなこれからは仲良くし
Alright, this is getting off to a great start.
碇玄道とその息子真治は仲良しになった木曽の山奥で木こりをして互いに慈しみ合う良い親子になってめでたしめでたし
It was with this revelation that Eric decided to spend the rest of the days during Yokan Forest, finally free of his main fear in life, being dissatisfied and missing out all the fun things to do in life. Yet, one thought still lingered in his now peaceful mind. Lumberjacks! We became motherfucking lumberjacks? I honestly love how goofy and not serious this game is. Seriously, this game is just a fun experience for what is otherwise a series filled to the brim with depressing, psychologically heavy moments, and I really appreciate it for that. Looking back to the many anime games I have played, the ones that always stood out to me are the ones that are always ambitious and does something new and creative with the series, and this game is no exception. So here's over the next game, Neon Genesis Evangelion, Eva and Good Friends, and the Sega Saturn by Game at Civilivers as well. What weird alternate universe would the series take us this time? Eva's become dancing machines? Ooh, chefs. Chefs sound fun. I want to be chefs. John is cool too. As you expect from a John game, you pretty much just following the game's story while facing against John battles. But it does have some interesting elements, like the fact that there are characters in another one, Hideaki Anno's other series, Nana, the Secret of Blue Water, which is honestly pretty cool. There's surprisingly multiple versions of this game as well, with there being a PlayStation 1, Game Boy, and PC versions as well. But the PC version contains some improvements, such as... It was with this revelation that caused Eric to think one thing, and one thing only. My innocent eyes! No! Yep, this version of the game does contain nudity of most of the characters in the series. Wait, pull up the character screen again. Go Pan Ben, go Pan Ben, go Pan Ben, go Pan Ben. Thankfully, only the 18 plus characters from Neon Genesis Evangelion actually have new scenes, which makes sense. But what's less obvious is the fact that this game was such a surprise hit. Leading to a Neon Genesis Evangelion solitaire game, cross game, the Fugo game, all board games, Uno game, and my personal favorite, Hanafuda game. Mainly because in the alternate universe, every character is forced to wear komodos. Motherfucking Komodo! I'm loving every second of this. And now your friends can love this too. As with the Game Boy Color version of the Mahjong game, you can actually connect this game with other Game Boy Colored Mahjong games like Jigeko's Mahjong Party and Margin Suzetsu Nan Deso, Very Mahjong to play multiplayer. So, Timmy! Okay then, not like I want you to, enjoy stuff, because that's what I... But maybe the next game, Neon Genesis Evangelion, typing series on Dreamcast by Games Again, would make Timmy grow up. There are two games in the series, Neon Genesis Evangelion Typing Project E, and Neon Genesis Evangelion Typing Instrumentality Project, and they both revolve around you typing words and phrases while playing a variety of fun mini-games, like having you cook, defeat baddies, and sing karaoke. Great, all fun. Only one problem.
最低
I'm not good at typing games. Never underestimate the power of Ladies Man! But what's even more surprising is, despite the fact that these games are Japanese exclusive, Derek Parks Ciarella from Dreamcast Forever did an amazing job translating this game into English. Seriously, tons of talent from this guy here too. There's links to all his current projects as well if you're interested. That being said, let's check out the next game, shall we? The next game is Neon Genesis Evangelion, Angel Racing on the Bandai WonderSwan by Games Again. While it's another Japanese exclusive game, the anime game translation took an amazing job taking the time to translate this game, and this is so amazing. In regards to the gameplay though, if you're familiar with the Tomodachi, is a similar Dawn Dance. But instead of feeding, playing, and taking care of cute pets, you are racing deadly angels that have the potential to destroy humanity once and for all. I named him Eric Jr., but without a J because I forgot to add a J and press the enter button before I realized my mistake. And you'll give someone a thumbs up for this game as well, as it's pretty much what you expect. Pages, training them shooting you, feeding them energy, and watching them dance. That's right, go Eric Jr., go Eric Jr. The only thing I really consider a flop is the fact that, man, these things take so long. And to add insult to injury, whenever you do something, they stop the time. They stop the time! I mean, the game knew how slow this game was because there's the option to speed up the game. That's how it is. Honestly, that's a simple, yet charming pet sim. After a week of relentlessly training it and watching it evolve, he finally evolved into this all-powerful, all-seeing creature. Oh, fear me, mortals! Destroy mankind, Eric Jr.! Destroy mankind! But maybe the next game, Neon Genesis Evangelion, a mommy racing project on the Dreamcast by Game Master, will allow me to have fun for once. And thanks to the English translation by producers Hisshou, we were able to enjoy this game to the fullest. And oh boy, this is quite the weird game. You see, in this alternate universe, you play as a nerve officer whose job is to raise Rei and to become the ultimate EVA pilot by assigning weekly schedules for her, while following the original Neon Genesis Evangelion story. And there's a lot of customization to be had here. There are a huge variety of values you need to try to increase and decrease by scheduling. Want her power to increase? Have her train. Want to increase her social skills? Take her to school. Want to decrease all the fatigue she has from training? Keep her in the hot springs. But you won't mind the Sundays in this game, as on this game specific, not only are you doing basic stuff like talking to Rei and checking out her status, but you're also going into town where not only you can go on food, movie, and park dates for Rei, but also buying a ton of stuff for Rei, such as decorations for her apartment, entertainment, and most importantly, clothes. I mean, look at all these options. You know what that means. Woohoo! 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 Go Rei, you slay. And back to the forest I go. But honestly, come back from the forest, because despite the weird premise and questionable fashion choices, this is kind of a wholesome game filled with really emotional and heartwarming moments. I love seeing this cold, hard work and no play character slowly warm up to her surroundings and start enjoying life to her fullest. There's this one scene where I make her visit a petting zoo, and man, seeing her usually clothed face light up kind of brought a smile on my face. I really love creating environments that allow everyone to have fun, and I'm really glad this game gave me the opportunity to do something like this. And after a full in-game year filled with brim with mixture of hard work and cutesy moments, we finally reached the end. Which one of the 30 endings, yes, 30 endings did I get? Let's find out, shall we? Everyone dies and a new rebirth of the world, aka another alternate timeline, is created. Please this world be better. Rei becomes a fast food worker. Rei, a little cool angel, wants to know whether you want fries or apple slices with your Happy Meal. I don't even care for Rei and Eva at this point. I just want to see a spin-off series of Rei's Wondrous Adventures at motherfucking McDonald's. That's a light novel title I'll actually read. That's saying something. I don't even read. While this game was originally on the Dreamcast, there's also PS2 and DS versions of this game as well, with the DS and PS2 versions having much more endings and the ability to treat Asuka as a pet as well. And if that wasn't enough, there's also somewhat of a sequel called Neon Genesis Evangelion, Shinji Ikari racing project that's Windows exclusive with a similar genre dance. You're taking care of Shinji by scattering stuff with multiple endings and a really well-told story. But as you can tell, the art kind of makes me want to run back into the forest for a fourth time. That being said, Screen 8 did such an amazing translation of this game that you should really check out. Anyway, the next game is Neon Genesis Evangelion 2 on the PS2 and PSP by Alpha System. And if you like strategy games, you're in luck. As the gameplay centers around you, pretty much wandering around aimlessly on the large map until wham! You run into an enemy. Look at that intense fighting action. Alright, all joking aside, you have multiple attack options to use when the enemy rams into you. And they show these really cool CGI cutscenes as well. Wham bam! I love these so much! And there was a ton of love put into the story as well, as the developers pretty much gave you the tools to make this game however you like. Want to follow the original story from the anime? You can do that. Want to turn this to a lovey-dovey dating sim where you can confess to Kouryaku?
君をもっと強く抱きしめたい。いいだろう。
Come on, look how wholesome this is. And Shinji's in a maid costume. Woo! Go Shinji! Go Go Shinji, you're super duper amazing!
producing Shinji's dad.
Wait, no! But will they be made in a NES game? Secret Evangelion on PS2, Windows, and PSP by Cyberfront? There isn't, but there's an interesting story to be had here. This is 100% a visual novel game. No fancy gimmicks or gameplay elements here. And in this alternate universe, you're playing as a nerve investigator, investigating the secrets of nerve organization's history, with multiple different endings and this weird grid system that allows you to move from one place to another. And really, that's all that's really meant to be said with this game. There is an interesting story, but hopefully the next game, Detective Evangelion at PS2 by Broccoli, will not be snooze fest. Alright, show us what you got, game. Ding dong dong is dead, he got shot right in the head. And he's not the only one. In this alternate universe, someone's going around killing everyone. And it's up to Shinji to play detective and figure out what's going on. That's right, you heard me, Joe Chap. Detective Eric's on the case. And hey, we got our first clue. We find this mysterious zombie girl with testicle arms going array, attacking everyone. And boom, it sees and pounces on us. But whoosh, Ray comes out of nowhere and saves us, leaving Shinji to do the honorable thing and wave his hands running away going along. Eee! But wham, Nerve contact him and is like, you're the chosen one, what are you doing? And boom, it's time for a motherfucking fight. Let's see, we can run, block, dash, and interesting kick, punch, and go Shinji! Go Shinji! Go Shinji! No, stop twerking on the police officer, Shinji!
なんだか疲れちゃったよ。
Should have seen that one coming. You should also have seen coming that this game's a banger. I love these little mini games you play throughout the game. From controlling Avas to what we saw earlier, they are such an amazing change of pace from the main gameplay. And what's the main gameplay, you might ask? Well, it's pretty much going around town searching for clues, using items and witnesses in order to progress through the story and find out who exactly is responsible for all these killings. And between that and the mini games, we finally gathered enough evidence to confront this baddie. Let's do it, shall we?
僕はネルフの捜査官碇シンジです。ネルフは被告綾波レイの完全な無実を主張します。
No. No.
繰り返します。
I can't for this game anymore. This game pulled a Twitchy Turvy and pulled an Ace Attorney. Oh, come on. What could possibly top that? What? It was with this revelation that Eric never used the restroom ever again and spent his days in the forest for the rest of his life, which was for 4 days before dying. Okay, it's not P, but rather LCL, the fluid that powers Ava's, but still. Bad color choice! You should be ashamed of yourself! That's right, walk away and shame. This work is too, I can't do this anymore. I'm done with this. NES game! The NES game is Neon Genesis Evangelion Battle Orchestra on the PS2 and PSP by Broccoli. And well, this game is actually quite different from the other games in the series. And it's weird saying that, considering most licensed anime games are usually like this. It's a fighting game with multiple story modes, briefly following the plot before battling, themed items like missiles and spirit belongingness in this case, and playing a bunch of beloved characters, which in this case is playing Evas and angels like Ramiel. Yes, you're seeing this right, you can play as Ramiel. Wahaha, behold my final form! Yeah! And unlike Diamonds, this game personally wasn't a gem for me. The controls are pretty awkward and stiff, and the AI is questionable as best. But there's still a ton of fun to be had there. It's more so a quick game you can get together with friends for an hour to make fun of all these weird overpowered character choices and gimmicks rather than, well, an actual competitive fighting game. I mean, come on, some characters can just hit you, then fly the entire time and win. Because guess what? Now all characters can fly. Whee! No one can hit me. No. And as you expect, there's also survival and versus mode as well, which is pretty much self-explanatory. You survive for as long as possible, and you can fight however you like. Moving on. The next game is Petit Evangelion game on the DS by Bandai Namco. And right away, you'll notice it's very different different. For example, this game takes on this cutesy chibi style, which is a nice change of pace and sets the tone for a more goofy game. I mean, in this alternate universe, there are 3 versions of Rain now and a buff Eva that acts like a human called Ibancho. It was with this revelation that Timmy decided to wander in the forest to question and find a meaning as to why. Why did he tamper with his favorite series like this? Meanwhile, Eric was like, "Hey, Jake, I want cake. We need to distract Asuka so that we can have it." To which we circled random objects until we circled a watermelon, which caused Asuka to fall in love with it, and wham, we eat the cake. Oh well, still worth it. Looks like the cake isn't the only thing that's salty. As you can tell, this game pretty much had you taking advantage of the DS stylus to do a variety of things. With there being 5 categories of minigames to play, Church Adventure has you pretty much circling things to whatever the plot throws at you, like making chocolate and trying to make Asuka wait for Shinji. Touch Action has you pretty much putting obstacles in opposing people's way, gathering speed boosts for yourself, or killing dogs in order to win a race or run away for something. Heart quizzes have you pretty much trying to flirt BIA answering questions in the most cheesy way possible. Tapping Time, which essentially has you going like... And my personal favorite, Charles Puzzle Games, doing puzzles like solving your homework and trying to hide from Misato with the help of our trusty guy Misato. We need to act quick. Yay! And you'll check learning the story off your bucket list as well, as this is pretty much a goofy story revolving around Shinji and Asuka doing a variety of random stuff like going on poo dates and making food for each other, which after doing all this lovey-dovey stuff, results in this wholesome scene. Aww. Could be worse. Could be... Gendo in the maid costume. Gendo in the maid costume. You know, at this point, the game just wants Gendo to be best girl. Thank you, Screening 8, yet again for translating this Japanese exclusive game for us. Thanks to you, I can never look at Gendo the same way again. But maybe there will be a better waifu on Evangelion Joe on the PSP and PS2 by banning Namco. Wait, Evangelion Joe? Evangelion Joe? Gee whiz, what's next? Strike Mod Joe? Naru Joe? My Hero Joe? Atsuki no Joe? Weird name aside, this is actually a really solid game. The story is a retelling of the Evangelion 1.0 You're Not Alone movie with multiple good and bad endings. But what really sets it apart from other games is the fact that this is actually an action-oriented game in which not only are you doing these really immersive button time segments, but you can actually control the Evas fully with these 3D action segments. And there's a ton of control to be had here. As during the visual novel portions, you can actually walk around talking to people and doing tasks for them to earn money and increase your friendship with them. And this is very important, as not only does the money allow you to buy cool weapons you can use to attack, but the attacks literally get more powerful the more you talk to other people. The power of friendship reveals yet again. Other than that, this is pretty much a solid game that reminds me a lot of the Eureka 7 PS2 games. But maybe in this game, Rebuild Evangelion 3 and the impact on the PSP Grasshopper will be more weird. Hopefully this game will have a space and gets more intros just like the last game, so let's check it out.
目標は依然健在。現在も第三新東京市に向かい進行中。
In this timeline, we have to stop the deadly human-killing angels with their motherfucking dance skills. And hey, if you do well enough with these self-explanatory rhythm game segments, you get the option to have a whole bunch of weapons to spam, which, come on, doesn't this look fun? It's just fun! And this is not the only rhythm game experience this game has to offer, but there's this mode that has you timing and aiming this green line to the beat of ambient music, a bunch of basic tap the button at the right time rhythm modes, and my personal favorite mode. Test mode. This mode has your timing the movie line in which you still has its ads, and it throws a variety of tricks and trolls at you. It's such a fun experience, filled with iconic music from the series and some really fun remixes thrown in the mix. While it's not anything too special or unique, I personally consider it a hidden gem. And yeah, that's pretty much the Neon Genesis Evangelion video game rabbit hole. There's this one weird game called Misatsu's Reporting Plan that was this weird news game that features Misatsu as the host. So it's shut down, so it's pretty much actually impossible to play this game. And did I mention there's a ton of Pachinko games? There are over 14 Pachinko games on the PS2, and this is for one system. That being said, we completed every Neon Genesis Evangelion game. Let's ride an Ava now. Huh? What? What's going on? Hey! Hey!
Congratulations! Congratulations! Congratulations!
Oh, thanks. But no, I want to ride an Ava. What? You would have missed this! The season 2 finale, episode 50, is coming out next.